Test, test. All right, things seem to be working. I'm a little early, so we'll give it some time. Let's see what's going on here. So there was I said that I was only going to do quality of life and performance upgrades on this update, and that didn't happen. I ended up doing a whole bunch of other stuff instead, and almost no quality of life or performance upgrades. So this coming update will be the performance, which I've already started, honestly, and quality of life upgrades update. So there will be less or no new features and just kind of making sure that all of the buttons make sounds like they should and have tool tips and all that kind of stuff, as well as working on getting the memory down. I've started implementing things that check your system memory and make decisions based on whether you have enough video memory, all that kind of stuff. So that is good. I'm also sort of hammering down the recommended and minimum system specs. It should run on just about anything minimum, but uh, I definitely recommend at least 8 gigabytes of video RAM, at least 8 gigabytes, if not 16, of system RAM. Unity is a kind of a hog for certain things, so and the way that it handles textures is not the most um, efficient, I guess you could say. So yeah, definitely I recommend 8 gigabytes of video RAM. I think my video card is 12, which is kind of obnoxious. On a tangent here, but we're early, so I can tangent if I want to. Um, I've got a 4070 Ti in my machine, and it's supposed to be like, sort of top end or whatever. But well, I guess medium high end, not top end, but it's supposed to be it's supposed to get you through this console generation, but already they're saying that 16 gigabytes of video RAM is pretty much required to get through this console generation. So I'm kind of annoyed because it was supposed to be an upgrade to the 4070, and the 4070 also had 12 gigabytes RAM. So it doesn't make sense that they did not increase the pipeline and add more RAM, but they didn't. So that's kind of an irritating thing. But whatever. I mean, it's still a great card, and I'm happy with it. But could be better. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of some of the things I want to talk about. Obviously, I'm going to show off the new updates, and I will answer any questions that people might have when or if they get here. Um, like I said, I'm still a little early, so no one's here yet, and everybody always shows up a little late anyway. So, um, yeah. But if you are here, let me know in the chat. Um, Let me know what kind of things you'd like to see. This is about me communicating with the user base and the fans of the program. And so if you have suggestions, you're having issues, all of that kind of stuff, that's what this is for. Um, I will be happy to help you. So, all right, let me go and post on the. Mark Bain says, I just woke up. Well, welcome. I have been up for probably 3 hours now, 4 hours now. I get up early and I go to bed fairly early. Um, last night. I didn't go to bed till like 1 o'clock. But my wife works graveyards and she gets home at about 7, and so when she gets home, I usually get up because she'll come home, she'll want to say hi, take a shower, hang out with the dog. So I end up getting up. Just because there's no way to sleep through all that. Um, but yeah, well, thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, and then I'll kind of go over the new stuff. Um, and I will, like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about system requirements, and why they are the way they are, or why I said, why I think they should be those requirements, that sort of thing. I'm going to talk about the next update, which I kind of mentioned a little bit ago when I first started up. But, I'll do that all again when more people show up. All right, let me post and let them know that I'm live. We are live. And I'm going to repost the link in the comment. Bam. Okay. Good. Now let's do the same thing on the Discord servers. Phil Singer Games fans. We are live. Cool. And I'm assuming everybody knows about it over here, but let's do it anyway. Cool. All right. I don't post this stuff on the official board, so that should cover all of the places that I need to mention that I'm live at. Derek says he doesn't have the technology for FGA, but wants to learn more. Are you on like a phone? You don't have a Windows computer, that kind of thing? Or you have a Windows computer, but it's super old or whatever? Let me know. I do actually have a mobile version of this that runs on Android. I don't have any iOS stuff. I don't like Apple. I think I mentioned last Q&A, Hexstar Billy Roberts sent an iPod to me, one of his really old ones, hoping that it might help with development for maybe an iOS version of the application. But unfortunately, the iPod was one generation too old to really run it. So Samsung Galaxy tablet. So that, let me turn my phone off here. So that does run Android. So that's good. Like I said, I do have an Android app for this. It's not anywhere near as feature complete as the desktop version, but it does exist. And at some point, I'd like to release that to the public. We'll see about that in the future. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes that I need to deal with. And, right now it has no way of you can't create cards in it, so it's kind of a pain to get cards from various sources. So I need to figure that out before I could release it. But it does exist and it does work, and you can play matches and it saves results and all that kind of stuff. So it's cool, and maybe like I said, maybe that'll come out in the kind of near future. Bear 805 is here. Hello, Bear. Welcome. If you have any questions, let me know. In about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to start going over some of the new features from the most recent update. I'm just kind of giving people time to trickle in, and just kind of gabbing with folks. I'm hoping for my birthday to get a Microsoft tablet with Windows, but that's not until this summer. Nice. If you do, let me know. You can join up at the link that should be on your screen there, the patreon.com/FG Assistant. Basically, the way that I do this is it's a $5 one-time buy-in. You can keep supporting me every month and get updates, but really all you need to do is donate $5 once, and you can download whatever the current version of the application is, and you can use that version indefinitely. I don't promise that it will be without bugs or, that that kind of thing. So, it is always good if you can afford it to stick around and support, because when you continue it, you get access to all updates that I do. And so the updates sometimes will have bug fixes or whatever. Like this last one, I released it and it had a bug that Lori and Jeff Stafford found. And it basically, the defensive stats are, when you edit a card, not when you create one, but if you like load it into the editor and you use the suggestion bubbles for the defense, it didn't save them. So, I had to fix that. And that would be one of those things that if you canceled your membership like right after you downloaded it, you wouldn't have access to that update. So it's always a good idea to stick around if you can. But yeah, and not everybody can. And I've had some people who, they'll donate their $5, they'll download the program, they'll wait a couple of months, and then they'll donate another $5 and grab an update, that sort of thing, and that's fine too. It's a perpetual license, so I'm not going to revoke it if you decide to stop supporting or anything. You are free to use it as long as you want. That's kind of how I've been running it, and it's worked well for everybody, I think. We have some supporters. I did have some supporters who are so you can get a higher tier, and I'm going to say this, and I hope that they watch this. I think I reached out to them, but if you are a PDF bootlegger tier member, you don't have to pay for the PDF versions of my bootleg sets. You get them for free. That's part of the agreement. So I had a couple of members who they were PDF level supporters, and then they also sent me $20 for the upcoming bootleg set. And I had to track them down and refund them and explain to them that they get it for free. So, that's a perk if you're interested in my bootleg sets as well. You can do, I think it's $15 a month, and you get any bootleg set that I release as long as you're a supporter at that level for free. I just send it to you. You do end up paying more. I'm not even going to lie. You could probably just buy the bootleg sets individually and it would save you money. But you're also supporting the development of the program, and you get all of the other perks like, all the bootlegs formatted for the program and all that kind of stuff. So, it's got its perks. All right. So let's go back over to the FG Assistant app here. All right. So with this update, I have changed a couple of things. I can't remember what was included in like the last update that I did. I know that I think I held out on this. It's been in mine and the testing versions for a long time, so I'm not quite sure, but the all-time records should be live for everybody now if it wasn't already before. You get a whole bunch of things that the application will track, most 5-star matches, most wins, most losses, most squashes, most times squashed, all kinds of stuff. Shortest match, shortest and longest card, win percentages, all that kind of stuff. And that's all live now. So, if it wasn't there before, I can't for the life of me remember if that was there before. So, if not, it's there now. If it was already there, then cool. The other kind of interesting new things are the promotion and venue editors. I have my NWC promotion created. Basically, what you do here is you just create a promotion, and you'll set its general size here. And this is really only important if you're going to add it to all territories. This little checkbox here. I'm pointing at it like you can see it. I point at it with the mouse here. This checkbox here will automatically add it to all your territories in the territory screen. And it'll add it at this level. So if this is off, you don't really need to set that. And then you can override this by doing specific territory sizes. So for me, in my universe, And the NWC is an institution in New York and very popular in Massachusetts because it's based in the Northeast. But Illinois and California have their own things going on. They have national television shows, and so it's unpopular there because the people would rather watch the TV shows that are produced locally in those regions. And this affects the attendance. If you have it set to show attendance in the book and edit event screen, this affects that. So that's why you might want to set this up. And then we have the venue editor. I have only created one venue. The rest of them I have created in the territory screen. You can still use the territory screen. This is just more universal. And you can upload and download them from Mod.io using this. So this might be a little better. I mean, the ones created in the territory mode are not bad or anything. It's just this is more universal and, like I said, shareable. But you can actually type in the territory that it belongs to. It will suggest things to you based on the territories that are in the game or that you've already created. So this will work for Champions of the Galaxy. You could create because you can type in the name of the territory, you could go ahead and create things like, it's on Andromeda. I don't know. I don't play Champions, so I don't know where the venues are. But you could actually create that, and it would, if you created a venue or a promotion that was in that territory, it would also be fine with that. So that's how this works. It's a pretty simple thing. But that's there, and those are the two new things that are definitely... I think the promotion editor might have been in the game, or in the application. I don't like calling this a game. But it was in the application before, but now the venue editor is there. They work together to enhance your book or edit event stuff without having to do the territory thing and allowing for champions. So that's kind of why I added them. I know Hexstar, Billy Roberts, was real instrumental in kind of giving me the nudges to add them so that he could use the same sort of territory stuff just for champions in like I don't know what you would call it. Like, I guess it's a slightly less graphically enhanced way. The other thing that I added at somebody's request is if you hit Control and N on any screen, it will bring up the universe notes. You can leave yourself notes for future matches, for anything that you want, really. I don't have any, but I'm just showing this off. I have Year 8 and Year 9 notes. I am technically in Year 8, but you can add notes and delete notes, and they're specific to the universe that you're in. So they will save with that universe, and you can load them up and, have notes for each thing. So that's another new thing that I got going on. And then somebody asked for this as well. This will allow you to I'm not going to click it because I don't want to rename my promotion. But this button here, if you're on any promotion other than the default one, will allow you to rename it if you made a mistake or whatever. So that's a thing that you can do now. You didn't used to be able to rename it. You just have to delete it and remake it. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else I added. This is new. The Universe Scrapbook. This is essentially the same idea as the program archive that used to be there, but it's slightly more nice. With this, you can flip pages, and it does the whole, it acts like a book. I only have 2 things here, so unfortunately, I can't show you a whole lot of cool stuff. If I had more, I could go to the page, like, if I go to page 1 and hit go to page, it'll automatically flip to that page, all kinds of stuff. But it's pretty cool. And then, if you hit edit clippings, it brings you to the same one that It's always been, except now, in the previous one, you needed to have some text. You don't anymore. So, like, if you just wanted to do like images of something and put it in your scrapbook for some reason, you could. So yeah, that's what's going on there. I really like the new sort of I don't know, interface for it. I think it's really cool to be able to flip pages and they curl like a real book and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. So I was pretty happy with it. And then the big thing. So if we go to event history, this is the stuff that I spent a bunch of time on this update. So now, when you go here, you have your filter options. So you can filter your events for certain things other than just the month and year. You can filter for locations or filter for specific text in the results, and it has and or, so you could look for things that are from like year 7 or contain the name Ed Lewis, that sort of thing. Um, so that's something new that I added. Again, it was a suggestion from one of you guys. So thank you very much for those sort of suggestions. The other thing is in export options. Um, I have added ChatGPT and Discord support to the application. So with the ChatGPT stuff, you will need an API key. You will need your own. It does not include mine. ChatGPT using the API costs money. It's not very expensive. I think I dumped $10 into it. And I've used maybe $3 in my entire run here. I think I've ChatGPT'd like 90 something cards, and multiple times too, because I was testing default prompts and stuff like that. So it's not very expensive, but you will need your own. I'm not supplying it for you. It will ask you when you do it the first time to enter your API key. You can get an API key for free, but you need tokens. And this is the token thing up here. It allows you to set your maximum number of tokens. Tokens are how ChatGPT remembers like the last thing that you said. Basically, one token is about, I think it's like 15 words or 18 words or something like that. So it will remember whatever 250 times 18 words is or whatever. And this is the prompt that you're giving to ChatGPT when you hit the GPT export. The default one is, you are a sports news writer. Write the following wrestling results up in a brief summary. You should include the finish of the match, the star rating, assuming that dud is the worst rating. 1 star is uninteresting and 5 star is an incredible match. You should also mention the time of the match if it is known, and assume that anything under 10 minutes is a fairly short match. The write-ups should be 1 paragraph, unless it's a title match or main event, which can be 2 paragraphs. The writing should be verbose and flavorful, and not reuse many phrases or portions, but stay within the paragraph length. So, you can change this. This is just the default one that I created for doing this. And then if you look here, this is what it exports. So when I ChatGPT'd my Farmer Burns versus Great Gamma match, it said, in a clash of titans, Farmer Burns emerged victorious over the Great Gamma in a match that left the crowd on the edge of their seats. The intensity was palpable as these two powerhouses locked horns, showcasing their incredible strength and technical prowess. However, the match took an unexpected turn when Gamma, perhaps out of frustration or desperation, resorted to a blatant act of foul play. As Burns found himself entangled in the ropes, Gamma shamelessly shoved him out of the ring, resulting in a disqualification. While the finish may have left some fans disappointed, the overall performance of both wrestlers earned the match a respectable rating of 2.5 stars. So that's the kind of stuff that ChatGPT will give you when you ask it to write a summary of the match for you. You can do that by, this thing here, that's the GPT export. And you can either export everything you've got in the program, whatever the selected event is, or you can export the filtered list because that's different than just saying all. It functions differently. So those are your options for that. And then the other thing that I added is Discord. I did include my general Discord webhook URL. If you use this, it will post to the FG Assistant Discord that most of you are members of. When it posts, it will, when you hit your Discord name here, you should probably name it after your promotion because it will create a thread in the results channel with this name. It is not your, like, whatever your Discord name is. It should probably be your promotion name. And then if you have a like image that you want to show up like when you post, so like, you know how you have your Discord avatar image, this is that, but for your post, your promotion. So you can, it uses a URL, so you can upload it to, like, I used Imager, and then you'll post the URL here, and it will use that image. This is the Discord webhook URL. If you create your own Discord server for your promotion or whatever and want to post to that one, you'll have to set it up so that it can accept a channel, like a forum channel, and then you can create your own webhook and post in there. So you can change this, no problem. And this is the profile. It will save profile. So, like, if you have a name and an avatar and a webhook URL, it will save all of that to one profile, and then you can easily change it just by clicking here, and it will update all of the stuff that it needs to update. The webhook URL, probably the same for all of your things, but you could have different ones. And if you want to post to Discord, you just hit export to Discord and it will do that. The one thing to remember is that, so let's say you run a promotion called NWC and I've already got my NWC there. It won't allow you to create another thread named NWC, and it won't allow you to post in my thread. So it will just basically tell you that it failed to update. So you need to make sure that your promotion name or your thread name, which I believe I called your Discord name on here. Yeah, Discord name. You need to make sure that that's unique. You know, just check the forum, really. But yeah, so you can post your results there. I hope to see people posting them. I know that Lanky Lefty posted a test thing of his promotion, and it was cool, and I read that. And I've posted all of Bluegrass Wrestling and NWC, and I will continue to do that on there. So it doesn't post the ChatGPT results. Discord has a character limit for posts, and those are just too verbose. The application will, like, if your thing is too long, it will chunk it. So it will make multiple posts, you know, and make sure that everything is the correct length. But these are just too long. It would require too many chunks. So I left those out. It only posts, like, the general results. So let's see. Do I have, okay, I did do. I was going to say, I could show you how this works, but I already have ChatGPT results for this one, so it doesn't really work. But yeah, it's pretty simple. You just click the button. It will pop up a thing that says wait, because it does take a little bit of time. ChatGPT is not the fastest thing in the world, and it has to do it for every match, so that's a thing. I added this at Grant's request. This was a Grant request here. So you can create, using that same ChatGPT AI, and this has, oh, I don't have anything there. Let's load my upcoming event here. NWC documents, and then this. So if I was to click this, it would bring up this, this thing here, and this will allow you to add additional information about the matches. So, like, if it's a title match, if it's somebody's debut, if it's a grudge match, if it's a cage match, all that kind of stuff. So This will allow you to enter information about it, and then you hit submit to GPT, and it will write like a promotional write-up that you could post on Discord or something to get people interested in your event. You could put it, like if you're streaming, like both me and Grant do, you could put it underneath, in the description of your video, that sort of thing. So it's there. I've used it. It's kind of cool. You can't edit the prompt on this one, so it can do some weird things. I do need to enable the prompt editing for that, but yeah, I just didn't think about it until it was too late, and now I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have allowed for that. So that'll be coming in an update, which is one reason that you should stay subscribed, because I'm a one man development team with probably about 4 active testers, maybe 5 active testers, and so some things they don't end up getting thought of until it's a little late, and so yeah, I mean, I'm always receptive to making changes and suggestions, but I do forget things or overlook things or don't think about things from time to time. And this is another new thing here. If you click this, it will copy this to your notepad, and then you can just paste it in. I'll paste it in the chat here. Oh, it's too long. The chat has a limited amount of text, but you get the point. You can basically paste it in. Same as that. It's just more simple. But that's another thing that exists now. So yeah, that's... Oh, and this. So previously, booked will always show everyone on the card regardless of your filters. But not booked used to... Oh, I have it set to all cards and not my roster, so now we have to wait for this to load. But previously, not booked would not react to your filters, because I was silly, and I was like, oh yeah, well, who needs to filter their not booked section? But you do. I can think of a lot of reasons why you'd want to. Maybe you want to see all the women who are not booked, that sort of thing. But this now reacts to your filters and stuff, so I planned on showing that, but I accidentally clicked this, and now we have to wait. This is the problem with having like almost 2,000 cards in your game, is that when you accidentally hit all, it takes forever. It also uses a lot of memory, or a lot of video memory. My video memory gets up to about 6 gigabytes, which is why I recommend a video card with at least 8 gigabytes at this point. I think that if you put in all of the official like just the official cards, obviously you'd be lower, but I think you'd still be over 4 gigabytes. So I definitely recommend a graphics card with at least 8 gigabytes of video RAM, because when it loads everything, and the thing is you could get away without it if you avoid saying all, if you avoid doing the all thing. And I have, in this coming update, I have added some checks, so you can't actually select all if you have less than 8 gigabytes of video memory, and the amount of cards you're trying to load is greater than 500, just because that keeps it from crashing because it runs out of memory, that sort of thing. So that's actually what I'm working on in this next update, but I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, see, if you click women here, it'll take a while, but it should filter out all of the women. Silly, stupid thing. Come on. Now it's got to destroy a whole bunch of these, so it's going to take forever. This is why I don't generally recommend that you use all cards. I do recommend that you create rosters if your card collection gets larger. I'm on a fairly beastly machine. I've got a Core i7. It's like a 14th generation, so it's brand new. 64 gigabytes of RAM, like a mid-high level video card, graphics card, the 4070 Ti, and it still takes this long to destroy objects and all that kind of stuff. So definitely my recommendation is to avoid using all cards and all or not booked if you have a large collection, because it gets rough. Uh, but yeah, it's still working. It's still doing its thing. I've had this take a couple of minutes before to destroy everything. So unfortunately, we just kind of have to wait for it. And while we wait for it, um, does anybody have any questions about what I have gone over? Would you like me to show anything off? Would you like more explanation on it? I know that uh, the Chat GPT thing might be something that people want me to, like, how to get an API key might be something that people would be interested in. Let me know. I can show that off if you're interested. It's not very hard, but um, if you don't know how to do it, it might confuse you. Um, okay, come on. Did it? No, I can't even bring up the thing. It's thinking. Let's see. Control Shift Escape. What's going on with my? Is it actually doing things? Da 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 da. It's working. Yep. Let's check my. Okay, so I am actually going to kill this real quick and reload it, because that will probably be quicker than waiting for it to destroy everything, which is, again, is why I don't recommend using the all thing. And I'm actually adding, like I said, I'm adding some stuff to uh, basically stop you from doing that if your machine can't handle it. And obviously, it's not a good idea even if your machine can handle it. So it exists for small, really it exists for people who want to chunk their collection up into rosters and display all of the rosters cards. So, like I have my NWC here, and so if I do this and load the event, and now that it's on NWC, we shouldn't have a problem because there's only like 100 cards in here. And if I go to not booked, it will load up all the cards. And these are the wrestlers that are not booked for this. And then if I click women, it will show all the women who are not booked, instead of just all the people who are not booked. And previously, it wouldn't do that. So that's been an update. I know that some of you who use the event booker, I know Grant uses it pretty frequently on the channels when he's doing like his the Golden Circle member stuff. He'll do like let's hang out and book an event sort of thing. So that's like just a quality of life feature that I added. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that is new in this update. Well, everything that's new that matters to you. There's things like I've added a version number that helps me. So like if you hit the F12 key to send a bug report, it will include the version number, yeah, the version number now. And so yeah, but yeah, this is the best way to send an error report, by the way. If you're not aware of this, you can press the F12 key in game or in app, and it will bring up this feedback, and then you can submit it to me using the submit button, and I will get a notification that there is something going on in somebody's game. It will send me like a full Unity log, so any errors that you might have had during that session will show up. Any problems with it will give me a bunch of information that helps me troubleshoot your problem. So you can always message me but I'm probably going to ask you for a log anyway, so you might as well do that, because then at least the log is already sent to me. You don't have to go tracking it down or anything like that. So that is the best way to report errors, F12. And if you can't hit F12, I know that some people like have their laptops have their function keys like bound to other stuff, and it does weird things when you press them. You can bring up the console, and you can bring this up by hitting, I believe it's Control or Alt, and I'm trying to remember what it is. So it's Shift and Backspace will bring up the console. And this works on a Mac too. I know Grant has issues on the Mac with the function keys. So you can hit Shift and Backspace, it'll bring it up. And if you hit this report bug here, it'll bring up the same thing. So you can do it that way too. And but that, yeah, definitely use that if you have to report something. It's very helpful to me. So let's see, what else do I need to cover here? I think that's everything that I needed to go over. I don't think there's anything left in here. Oh yeah, no, there's a couple of things. So there's also quality settings now. I don't really like these, but if you're having like serious issues, you can use them. What it does is it lowers the quality of your card. So like if I go to low quality here, and then I go to card management, and I try to look at the back of a card, it is going to look ugly. Oh, huh. Maybe they're not working, because that didn't seem to work. Or maybe I changed it. But yeah, these used to lower the resolution automatically, and I may have changed it or broken it in playing with it, because I was kind of unhappy with some of the results of it. But they're there. They should reduce your the video RAM usage that I was talking about, and make it a little better. So here's where I talk about system specs, because I've never really mentioned it. I've never really thought about it too much, but I've been kind of playing around with some benchmarking tools and stuff. So this thing will basically run on a potato on the minimum end. Like if you're not expecting it to be super quick and you don't mind, wait times and load times and stuff, you can get it to run on just about anything. I think that you need at least 4 gigabytes of video RAM, like straight up. I know that I have one user who has sent reports, and they have like 2 gigabytes of video RAM, and they send reports a lot. And so it runs, but it has some issues. So I really think that the minimum thing that you could get away with to run it smoothly without problems is 4 gigabytes of video RAM, at least 8 gigabytes of system RAM, because Unity uses some for its, there's some overhead in the engine, as well as anything that I might want to load in and store as data in RAM. So 4 gigabytes video RAM, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Pretty much any processor should work, as long as it is dual core, or maybe even quad core, any of like the whatever. So if you have an i3, an i5, an i7, an i9, any of those should work. No problem. On a Mac, you're fine. It's compiled both for the Apple silicone and the Intel silicone. So if you have an Intel Mac, it will run. If you have a M1 or whatever, M2, it'll run fine. So no problems there. For a Mac, I think that you would need about the same amount of system memory, so at least 8 gigabytes. And Macs generally ship with way more than you need, just because they're expensive. So I don't think a Mac has had 8 gigabytes of RAM since 2012 or something. So I think you'll be fine. AMD is fine. I don't know so I don't know the conversions, but basically if you've got an AMD chip that was made in the last 12 years or so, you should be fine. The processing isn't too bad. The video card, I doesn't NVIDIA or AMD doesn't matter. What really matters for this particular application, because there's not a whole lot of 3D graphics or processing power that's needed. It's video RAM, because all of the textures are loaded and cached, so it doesn't have to load again. And when it's cached, it stores it in the video RAM. So the more video RAM you have, the more card images it can cache, and the faster it'll run. But again, if you have at least 4 gigabytes, it should run fine. If you have 8 gigabytes, you should be fine. Like I said, I have 2,000 cards and I don't use 8 gigabytes. So you should be okay. And that's the most important thing, is your video RAM for this particular program. So, if you have an AMD card with 8 gigabytes of RAM, you're fine. I can't imagine you having too many issues unless you start getting into 3,000, 4,000 cards, at which case maybe it would have some issues. So we're thinking about, every time you add a bunch of cards, you're adding overhead to the application. There's some things that you could do, and it does check. It will clear caches and stuff between scene loads and things like that. That's why some of those little title belt scenes, when it slides in and the title belt spins, it will pause for a little bit and then it will open up again. It's like clearing the cache and all of that kind of stuff, if it needs to. So, you should be reasonably fine. But just keep that in mind, that if, you want to load, a ridiculous amount of cards, having more video RAM is more important than anything else. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So those are my system specs. At minimum 4 gigabytes of video RAM, any processor made in the last 12 years, and a minimum of 8 gigabytes of system RAM, and recommended from me, the developer, at least 8 gigabytes of video RAM, at least 8 gigabytes of system RAM, and a more modern processor, like anything made in the last, 5 years or so, should be fine. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for system specs at this point. And I think we're good enough along in development, excuse me, that I don't think that should change. Because the major thing in this application is the cards. It's got you can't play Phil Singer games without the cards, and so that's going to be the biggest system hog or whatever. So, and I think that is everything that I needed to cover. I know I wanted to talk about the next update, so let's do that real quick. So this update was supposed to be polish, quality of life, and performance. I did a little bit of performance stuff, but not as much as I would have liked. And so this next coming update is going to be more focused on better cache management for the card images that I just talked about. I want to impose some limits based on system, like the user system information. So, I'd be checking how much memory you had, like I was just talking about, and deciding all right, well, if you've got more than this amount of cards cached when it changes scenes, clear it, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's one thing that I want to do. I've added a thing that does, when you hit load cards on startup, if you have less than 8 gigabytes of video memory, it will load all of the other information, but it won't load the images until it needs them. And this improves performance for people with less powerful video cards, but it also means that like if you go to your uh, one night match or your card management or book or edit event and you do load all the cards, it will take a little longer because at that point it does have to load all of the images. They're not cached. So basically, it doubles the amount of time that it would take to load that those screens. Um, but I want to do a little more of that kind of work. I need to do things like make sure that all the buttons have tooltips and the tooltips are correct. I need to make sure that all the buttons have sound. That sort of thing. Just general polish stuff. That's going to be the next update. Some quality of life things, maybe making sure that Alt and Tab works, or tabbing between fields, like it works fine in the the wrestler editors and wrestler creation stuff, but it doesn't work in some of the other screens, and maybe I need to take a look and see if tabbing between fields is something that that screen needs, because there are a few things that definitely could use it. There are, let's see, what else do I need to talk about here? But I think that that's going to be the next update, so it's not a super exciting update. I apologize. Hopefully all of the weird online stuff and the reworking of the scrapbook and all that kind of things, and the addition of notes and all that stuff was enough to keep you satiated for this more boring update that's coming in April. The other thing, I mentioned it earlier as well, and I want to mention it since there's more people here now. If you are a PDF bootlegger level member, you do not need to send me money for for a PDF set of the bootleg cards that I do. They are included in your subscription on Patreon. I know that there were a couple of people who are that level of the PDF bootlegger level things who also sent me $20 for the PDF set that I've got coming out, and I had to track them down and refund them. Because I'm a fairly honest guy, and I don't want to double charge people, or I don't want to make the perk that you get that you're already paying for meaningless because you paid for a set on top of it. So, if you did that, you should have got a refund this morning, and a message saying like, hey, this was unnecessary, that sort of thing. So again, if you are a PDF bootlegger level member, you get the PDF sets that I release for free. So, enjoy those, and you don't have to send me more money. All right. So questions. Anybody have any questions? I will leave it so that you guys can take the floor here. And if not, I think that we are good. Although I may stream my event because I wanted to do that anyway. So if there are no more questions, or if there are no questions, I might just stream this 8.2, which is 5 matches. So it's up to you guys. You let me know. Like I said, I'd be happy to cover things like how to get an API key from ChatGPT, all that kind of stuff. If people want it and, think that it's important. All right, so it looks like everybody is good. Oh, go ahead with the card. Alrighty then. So yeah, if there are any questions, I'll answer them in between matches at this point. So this is going to be card 8.2. It's the second card of year 8 in my National Wrestling Commission universe. Year 8 is roughly, it equates to kind of like what we would think about happened in the 1950s. So we're talking about like sort of the, or 1950. So like really early television. I guess television technically started, in about 1948. There was like the first wrestling stuff on TV, but the 1950s was when sort of the, what would you call it, the silver age of wrestling, where it was on TV nationally on what is it, Dumont, and there was one more. I can't remember the name of it, but Dumont was the big one. Um, and so yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. It doesn't correspond. Debuts happen in the year that they're supposed to happen, but retirements don't. So you got ladies like Cora Livingston, who retired in the 1920s, still active here just because she hasn't hit her fatigue limit, and so yeah. That is a basic rundown of the NWC. We are in Boston, Massachusetts at the Boston Garden, where we are very popular, and this is a sellout card, 15,000 in attendance. And we are going to run our first match here, Mildred Burke versus Cora Livingston. And Mildred Burke, a former champion, and in the red corner, weighing in at 135 pounds and standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, from Flint, Michigan, this is Cora Livingston. And in the blue corner, weighing 138 pounds and standing 5 feet 2 inches tall as well, from Coffeyville, Kansas, this is Mildred Burke. And so Burke, a former champion, facing off against Livingston, a former champion. And it looks like Livingston takes the lockup, applies a headlock on Burke. That's a power move that will not work. So Mildred Burke powers her way out. And grabs an arm wringer. Grant is asking a question here. Will fatigue limit tracking be added to FG Assistant? Like how I tracked it in, what was it, Obsidian, where it tracked like the total number of fatigue points taken per card. It's one of those things that I didn't want to add just because it was so specific to the way that I ran my promotion, and I don't know that a lot of other people used it. But I mean, I guess it could be added, and maybe it could be added as a feature of the um, of the all-time records or whatever, where most fatigue sort of thing. Um, but yeah, it could be added. It wouldn't work retroactively, I guess. So it would only keep track of fatigue from the point that I added it. But not automated. Um, if it's not automated, you could just use metadata. Uh, if you didn't want to automate it, that's what I would do. If you don't want an automated version of it, and you just want to update it yourself, just add a metadata thing to your cards. Just select your roster, use that add bulk metadata thing, and add a fatigue count metadata, and then you can update it manually. Then you can filter for it, all that kind of stuff. But that's my suggestion for that. If I did add it to like everything, it would just be automated. It would take the fatigue that they earned in the match and add it to a saved total. So, but that's my thought on that. All right, back to the match. And Mildred Burke grabs an arm wringer, and Cora Livingston counters. Livingston spinning that arm wringer back around, and she hits Mildred Burke with a body block. And Burke is hurt here. And a double arm leg bar by Cora Livingston has Burke all tied up. And Mildred Burke is hurt. And she applies more pressure on that double arm leg bar. And Mildred Burke can't quite escape. And she kicks her off, tries to get up. And Livingston with the body block. And Mildred Burke is hurt again. And Livingston, another body block on Mildred Burke. Livingston trying to play it like this is hockey, and Burke not sure what to do here. She's dazed as Livingston comes in with a forearm punch. Mildred Burke, able to counter that forearm punch, grabs the arm and sends her into the ropes. We'll go with it because I already said it. And Livingston, able to counter off the ropes here, comes back, takes her down, and she is on the attack now. Mildred Burke in trouble as Livingston attempts a hip roll. This is a choice D maneuver. So level 3 is going to be on power, or level 2 on agility. So it's going to be 6 or less for 2, or 5 or less for 3. I think we're going to go for the 6 or less here. And with a roll of 10, Mildred Burke able to counter the hip roll and is on the attack now. Grabs a hammerlock on Cora Livingston. And Livingston is dazed. And Mildred Burke trying to apply a twisting ankle lock. And she gets it. And Burke in trouble here. Or not Burke. Livingston in trouble here as she's hurt here. Mildred Burke applying pressure. Grabs her, scoops her back up, and suplexes her to the mat. Cora Livingston in trouble. She's laying there. Mildred Burke applying a full Nelson as she gets back to her feet. Cora Livingston, she's trying to struggle out of that full Nelson, able to do so. And Burke gonna roll up here. Single leg takedown by Burke. And Livingston is dazed. Mildred Burke scoops Livingston up and power body slams her to the mat. That is going to work, as she does have the power advantage. And Burke has Livingston in trouble. Livingston struggles back to her feet, and Burke grabs a grinding face lock. Choice F here. That's going to be a power on 4 or less. Or 3 on 4 or less, or 2 on 5 or less. So neither one of those are great. We're going to roll the 2 dice and see what happens. And she got a 2, so the 2 or less, the level 2 move worked. So grinding face lock, level 2. And Livingston able to pull her head out. And, wrong button. I need to roll here on level 2. Livingston pulls her head out, grabs a hammerlock, and rolls Burke to the ground. Mildred Burke is down, but she's close to the ropes, and she's going to leave the ring. So Mildred Burke out of the ring. And Livingston comes out, steps out onto the apron, and Burke grabs a leg and pulls her to the floor. And Livingston hits hard. She's in trouble here. She's going to roll her count out as Burke rolls back into the ring. And the target is 2. The roll is a 9, so she's not counted out. But that definitely took a toll on Cora Livingston. And she's back in the ring, and Mildred Burke in control here. Another big full Nelson applied. Trying to pin down the shoulders, but she can't do it. Livingston not going to leave the ring. She's playing the heroic wrestler here. Now she's going to leave the ring because Mildred Burke going to throw her out. And once again, she hits that floor hard. And she's rolling her count out. Target is going to be 3. Roll is a 9. So Livingston, once again, able to get back to her feet and into the ring in time. But Burke is on the attack. There's an alligator clutch. She just rolled her up as she got back in the ring. Alligator clutch is a +4 finisher. So the target is going to be 8. And the roll is a 5. So we're going to end that match. And, that was the end of it. I should have paused it while I answered Grant's question, because that apparently went on for 21 minutes. There was some, it was cut for time, apparently. So Burke won with an alligator clutch. And that was 3-0, so that's going to be a 1.5-star match. No notes, really. No injury. We're going to hit okay. Oh, automated is even better, says Grant. Yeah, I mean, that's my thing, is if we're going to add it to it, there's no reason not to do it automated. Like I said, you could already kind of do it in a manually updating sort of way. So, But yeah, I could definitely add that. It wouldn't be very hard to do. It would just be like another piece of data that I add to the. I'm not. I'm wondering if you would want it per card or per wrestler. So like if you had two cards of the same wrestler and they had the same name, do you want the would you want the fatigue to apply to both of them, or do you want it per card? So like, let's say you had black and white Bobby Eaton and color Bobby Eaton. Do they share the same fatigue pool? That's a question that we kind of that I have to kind of answer. Personally, I'd say yes, but some people might like it to be per card. So, and it would only matter if like they had the same name. So like if you had like let's say the dirty white boy card that we have, let's say we get a grappler card for Tony Anthony, then they wouldn't share the same fatigue pool because they don't have the same name. So like it's a weird thing where you can't always catch all of the the fringe cases or whatever. All right, let's start our second match. That's going to be the Zbyszko brothers, Stanislaus and Vladek Zbyszko. And they're going to be taking on Hans Schmidt and Waldo von Erich. Waldo and Hans are teaming up because Fritz is still about 2 years away from debuting. Waldo was first. Most people forget that Waldo von Erich was the original von Erich and was arguably the bigger name. Fritz, obviously, huge in Texas, but Waldo was bigger just about everywhere else, and I think a lot of people forget that. And because, the Von Erichs, when they think about the Von Erichs, they think about world class and the Von Erich children and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, of the original tag team, I'd argue that Waldo was probably a bigger name in everywhere but Texas. But it's Waldo and Hans Schmidt. The Germans are going to take on the Polish Zbyszko brothers here in our next match. All right, in the red corner, at a total combined weight of 515 pounds, we've got Waldo von Erich and Hans Schmidt. And in the blue corner, at a total combined weight of 490 pounds, we have Vladek and Stanislaus Zbyszko, the Zbyszko brothers. And let's it automatically adds the pin safes to the Zbyszko brothers because they're in my my team setting. But let's add them to the red corner here. Add pin saves. They get 2 as well, so we'll add that. There we go. I don't play with the double team chart, so I won't add those, but Grant has got me interested in it, so maybe I will try that out. I do actually have the double team charts in here. So, yeah, Days Down and Hurt. So, definitely could do that. Alright, so let's start this one up. We're going to roll one die to see which member starts. And they're both odd, so it's going to be the 2 guys that are on the screen, and we will roll for initiative. And it looks like Vladek going to take control on the lockup. And Vladek with a big headlock on Waldo von Erich. And he has definitely got the agility advantage, so that headlock is going to work. Except that Waldo, able to push his way out of it, and grabs a side headlock of his own, and they are equal in power, so that is going to work as well. And the difference is that Waldo able to hold on to that headlock, Vladek was not. And Waldo von Erich, double axe handle. And that hurts Vladek Zbyszko. Zbyszko in trouble here as Von Erich with a Prussian deathlock. This is an add 1 maneuver, so Vladek gets a point of fatigue, and he is down. And he's going to roll out of the ring after reaching the ropes, breaking that Prussian deathlock. And Vladek is being chided by the referee for rolling out of the ring and trying to take a breather. He is disqualified Oh, good lord. That was a anticlimactic match. As the referee just decides that rolling out of the ring and being is unsportsmanlike and basically ended that one. So here we go. Waldo Von Erich has beat Vladek Zbyszko via DQ when the referee decided that Vladek acted in an unsportsmanlike way. Unsportsmanlike. Okay, that was definitely a dud. Waldo and Schmidt continue to pummel the Zbyszko ZBYSCKOS. After the fight, after the match. There we go. Yeah, old school ref is right, Mark Bain. You know, I use the old school charts, and so I try to, like, continue with old school flavor, like, if I can. Eventually, I'll flip over to, like, a more modern chart. I'm kind of waiting for the Ringside Companion 2 to come out with all of, like, the chart options. I'm hoping that there's one that's, like, sort of in between, like, the vintage old school charts and, like, the 80s charts that the game started with. If not, I might have to create a Silver Age chart set where guys didn't, they weren't like Irish whipping, but it was a little more like entertainment or TV based. Like if you watch old school, like, if you go to like the Chicago Film Archive channel on YouTube and you watch those matches, they don't Irish whip into the ropes, or like sometimes they will into the corner a little bit, but it's not quite as like straight up wrestling when they do get to the ropes as the vintage charts are. So maybe I'll try to figure that out. Be a good thing. Maybe I'll release them in the next bootleg set in the fall. We'll see. So the next match is Angelo Poffo and Buddy Rogers. Rogers has been doing pretty well here in the NWC. Angelo Poffo had a couple of matches. I think he's about a 500 player here. So Rogers heavily favored to win this one. Let's see how it plays out. In the red corner, weighing in at 227 pounds and standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, from Camden, New Jersey, he is the Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. And in the blue corner, weighing in at 227 pounds and standing 6 feet tall, from Downers Grove, Illinois, Angelo Poffo. And let's roll the dice, see who takes control here. Buddy Rogers easily wins that lockup. And Rogers, flying head scissors. This is a choice C maneuver, so let's see. Agility, he's got a 0-0, so there is no reason not to just do the level 3 move. So it's going to be level 3 head scissors. That's going to work on 6 or less. And on a roll of 8, Poffo able to throw Rogers off and take control of the fight. Poffo with a front face lock now. And Rogers is hurt. And Poffo continues to apply pressure on that front face lock. Buddy Rogers, though, had enough, slips his face out, and backs Angelo Poffo into the turnbuckle. And Angelo Poffo can't get anything done in the turnbuckle. Buddy Rogers kind of beels him out of the turnbuckle and into the center of the ring. And Rogers in control here. Rogers lifts him up, drives him head first to the mat with a big pile driver. Angelo Poffo tries to get back up. He's obviously staggered. He's obviously hurting. And Rogers backs him into the ropes. And the referee steps in as the two men struggle on the ropes. Can't get anything done. Breaks him up. And they meet again in the center of the ring. And this time it's Angelo Poffo taking control on the lockup. Poffo not going to send him into the ropes. Poffo instead going to try kicking him in the midsection. And Buddy Rogers able to catch that foot. and throw him off. Rogers with some big drop kicks now. And those are going to catch Angelo Poffo. Poffo is dazed by those drop kicks, or staggering around the ring with those drop kicks. And Rogers follows him in with a big jumping knee smash as Angelo Poffo turns around. And that catches Poffo. Poffo is definitely in trouble here. And Buddy Rogers once again backs him into the ropes. And Poffo can't get anything done as Rogers hip tosses him off the ropes and back towards the center of the ring. Buddy Rogers, another jumping knee smash, follows him in. And Poffo is down. Buddy Rogers pins. He's got a pin attempt here using the ropes. And the referee sees it and refuses to count, tells Rogers to get off. Poffo is near the ropes, though, so he's able to roll out of the ring. And Buddy Rogers comes out and slams Poffo face first into the apron. And the referee is not having that. Warns Buddy Rogers, yelling at Buddy Rogers, but won't disqualify him as Rogers rolls Poffo back into the ring. And attempts another pin and throws his feet back up on the ropes. And that's not going to work either. The referee, once again, refusing to count. Rogers spends some time jawing with the referee, allowing Poffo to stand back up, but Rogers turns around and connects with a hard punch on Angelo Poffo. Poffo's hurt here, and Buddy Rogers backs him back into the ropes. And he can't get anything done. Rogers grabs him up, scoops him with a big fireman's carry, and slams him down center of the ring. And Rogers in trouble, or Rogers in control here, no doubt about it. Applying a chokehold on Angelo Poffo. He's going to go for the agility move here. It's going to be a level 3 chokehold at 7 or less. Let's see what he gets. He gets an 8. So Poffo able to pry his hands off and take control of the match, applying a front face lock on Buddy Rogers. This has been the only thing that's been working for Angelo Poffo thus far. And Rogers is hurt, and he continues to wrench that front face lock. And Rogers can't get out, and so he continues to just kind of apply the pressure. This time, Rogers able to make some space there, gets himself out, but Poffo grabs a grinding hammer lock. So he's really trying to wear down Buddy Rogers here. Rogers is dazed. And Poffo spins out of that hammerlock and attempts a snapmare, but Buddy Rogers throws a big drop kick, catches him right in the back, and Poffo bounces himself into the ropes. He is definitely dazed. He is dazed. He's definitely staggered and stunned, and Rogers scoops him up and pile drives him to the mat. And Poffo once again stands back up, groggy and really feeling it, as Rogers backs him into the turnbuckle. And Poffo able to spin it around. And Buddy Rogers in trouble here now as Angelo Poffo lands a couple of stiff shots to the gut. And then reapplies that front face lock. Buddy Rogers is hurt here as he backs Buddy Rogers into the turnbuckle. And Poffo continues his control here, lifting some knees into the gut of Angelo Poffo in the corner. Or no, of Buddy Rogers in the corner. So Buddy Rogers falls down as he comes out of the corner here. And Poffo sends him out of the ring. And he comes out, and once again, Rogers slams him face first into the apron. Poffo falls to the floor. Poffo in trouble here. Target is going to be 3 for a count out, and the roll is a 6, so Poffo able to get back in. But Buddy Rogers now in control, and Rogers scoops him up as he steps through the ropes and lands a big atomic drop. That's going to hurt Angelo Poffo. Poffo turns around, hurting from that atomic drop, and Buddy Rogers throws a big series of drop kicks. They don't catch all of it, but enough that it really rocks Angelo Poffo. And then Poffo slammed with a hard punch as Rogers continues the assault. Rogers Now he tries another hard punch, and Poffo able to block it, and he backs Buddy Rogers into the turnbuckle. Rogers able to counter, though, with a big, let's say he punches him in the gut here, and he takes control of the match. And now Buddy Rogers with a big pile driver on Angelo Poffo. Poffo's down here. Buddy Rogers attempts another pin using the ropes. And once again, the referee says no. The referee not allowing Buddy Rogers to get the advantage that way. Poffo able to stand back up as the referee and Rogers argue. And this time Rogers backs Poffo into the ropes. And the referee quick to step in this time and break the two men up. And neither man can get an advantage here on the lockup as they grapple around the ring. And it's Angelo Poffo who finally wins the lockup on level 3 and crushes Buddy Rogers with a neckbreaker. Target is 2 here, and the roll is a 10, so Buddy Rogers able to kick out without too much of an issue. But Angelo Poffo still in control. Poffo with a rolling cradle. This is a level choice H move, so agility is -2, so that would work on a 5 or less, or into the ropes. I think we're going to go for the ropes. And Buddy Rogers able to drop toe hold him as he's leaning on the ropes and take control of the match. Buddy Rogers backs him into the turnbuckle. And Angelo Poffo able to counter, rolling him around so that Poffo is in an advantageous position. And he lands a couple of solid shots. And Poffo once again backing him back into the turnbuckle as the referee steps in to break him up. And this time it's Buddy Rogers punching Poffo in the mouth over the head of the referee as the referee tries to separate the two. Rogers grabs Poffo after that and pile drives him to the mat. And that pile driver just not working out for Buddy Rogers as Angelo Poffo is hurt. And now he's going to back him into the ropes. And Rogers taking control here. Couple of knee lifts on the ropes there. And he backs up and then runs in with a big jumping knee smash that catches Angelo Poffo as Poffo is separating himself from the ropes. And that lands solidly on Poffo. And Poffo ends up out of the ring here. Rogers' knee lift knocked him out of the ring. And he stands up and gets back in the ring. Rogers not able to get out there in time as the referee kind of steps in between the two. But as Poffo comes back into the ring, Rogers scoops him up with another big pile driver, dumping him straight on his head again. And Poffo's down this time. Rogers attempting another pin using the ropes, and this one is actually going to work. The referee doesn't see it. He's got his legs up on the ropes. The target is 4. The roll is a 3. So Buddy Rogers pins Angelo Poffo after a pile driver and throwing his legs up on the ropes. So Rogers wins with a pile driver and a pin using the ropes. And that is Angelo Poffo would have got another thing, so that's 3 stars, so that's a 1.5 star match as well. We'll say that Poffo protested to the referee. The referee's decision stands. So Buddy Rogers with a fairly crappy win. And if you, I streamed 8.1 on card 8.1. The Kangaroos lost the tag team titles to Los Hermanos Shadow, who is Blue Demon and Black Shadow. And when they lost the titles, their manager Red Berry walked out on them, and he gave an interview. If we go back here, it mentions it. Yeah, that's fine. It'll say it. Won't clear it until I clear it myself. But if you look at the Ring Sports News, inside the thing, it says the Red Berry speaks his mind about the Kangaroos. And Red Berry essentially said that the Kangaroos were losers. They got lucky and won the title solely because of his management skills and that they don't have the talent to maintain it. And so he is looking for teams that are better and that he is going to bring in a better team to defeat, to really make the Kangaroos' life miserable. And the Kangaroos turned face, so they're now a good guy team, and they are facing the Fargo brothers, Jackie Fargo and Roughhouse Fargo, who are coming off of a pretty nasty loss to the Hook and Book Connection, Stu Hart and Roy Welch, where Jackie Fargo claims that Stu Hart used an illegal chokehold that he called a sleeper to put him to sleep in under 3 minutes. And Jackie Fargo says that that's bull, and he's going to prove it, and that the Fargo brothers are going to have a nice, solid match against the Kangaroos and come out on top. So let's see how this goes. And in the red corner at a total combined weight of 468 pounds, from Sydney, Australia, Roy Heffernan and Al Costello, the fabulous Kangaroos. And in the blue corner at a total combined weight of 463 pounds, Jackie and Roughhouse Fargo, the Fargo brothers. And both teams have their pin saves, so let's roll one dice to see who starts. And this will be Jackie Fargo and Al Costello. Now let's roll to see who wins the... And that's a 7 and a 6, or a 7 and a 12, so Costello wins. And Costello. Double team pummel already, so he tags out to Roy Heffernan. And Jackie Fargo in trouble. Fargo's hurt as Roy Heffernan, a jumping head cracker on Jackie Fargo. Fargo is dazed there, stumbling around. And Heffernan moves in, flying mare on Jackie Fargo. And Fargo is dazed. He tries another big flying mare. And once again, dazing Jackie Fargo. Then he tries to grab a hammerlock on Fargo, and that's going to be successful as they're tied for power. And Fargo's hurt as Heffernan wrenches that hammerlock. And Roy Heffernan catapults Jackie Fargo. And Al Costello catches him with a big elbow here. And Fargo is in trouble. Fargo needs that tag. Jackie Fargo is hurt as the Kangaroos apply a sleeper hold on Jackie Fargo. This is the move that Fargo went out to last time. And Fargo able to struggle his way out of that pretty easily. And he's just hurt here as Roy Heffernan with Al Costello, with an Aussie suplex. And Fargo's hurt. He's going to attempt that tag. And he doesn't make it. And now, Al Costello on the attack here. Greek Cross by Al Costello. This is a choice F maneuver. Let's see. Fargo has better power, so that would be 5 or 6. He's going to go for the 6 or less for a level 2 move. And he rolls a 9, so he doesn't get it. Fargo needs the tag here. Kick to the midsection by Jackie Fargo. And this is into the ropes, which is an A or a level 2 move that's going to work on 8 or less. So Fargo going to try that. 8 or less, and he gets it. And Al Costello's hurt. And Jackie Fargo, after kicking him right in the gut, is able to make the tag to his brother Roughhouse Fargo. And Roughhouse Fargo in the ring here. And Roughhouse on the attack. And Roughhouse Fargo grabs him up. Atomic drop on Al Costello. Costello's down. He's going to try to make the tag here. And he can't do it. Roughhouse Fargo in control, able to pull him away from his corner. And then toss him out of the ring on a friendly side here. So Al Costello in trouble here. Costello helped back into the ring in a rough way by Jackie Fargo. And Roughhouse Fargo in control. Fargo goes out of the ring and grabs a soft drink from one of the fans. And he throws it in the face of Al Costello. And Costello is pretty upset about that. And he just wipes it off and goes on the attack. Big double hammers to the chest. That's a power move, and that is going to work. And so Roughhouse Fargo nailed with those double hammers. And Roughhouse Fargo able to make that quick tag to Jackie Fargo as soon as he starts getting into trouble. And Jackie Fargo able to back Al Costello into the turnbuckle. And Fargo able to catch him with a couple of shots to the ribs in the corner before the referee steps in to break these two up. And now, Jackie Fargo, big roaring forearm on Al Costello. That catches Costello solid. Costello's knocked loopy. And another big right hand. Jackie Fargo just pummeling Al Costello. Costello's down. He's going to roll out of the ring. And he grabs Fargo by the leg and pulls him out. And the two Fargos end up outside the ring with the two kangaroos, and they're just pummeling each other. And the legal kangaroo actually rolls back into the ring, and the Fargos rolling count out here. And the target is 2, the roll is a 10. Jackie Fargo able to roll back in before he's counted out. He realizes what happened there. And they might have beat up on Roy Heffernan a little bit, but they were in danger of being counted out. But Jackie Fargo able to roll back in. And Al Costello catches him coming in and throws him out onto the other side of the ring. This is the kangaroo-controlled side. And Jackie Fargo in trouble here as he is slammed into the ring post by Roy Heffernan and then rolled back in the ring. Al Costello scoops him up as soon as he's rolled back in and nails him with a big backbreaker slam. And Jackie Fargo's hurt. Al Costello applies that sleeper hold again. Jackie Fargo able to kind of power his way out of it. And Costello backs him into the ropes. And Jackie Fargo can't do much there. The referee steps in to break these two up, and as soon as he does, Costello grabs Fargo and hits him with a big Aussie suplex. And Fargo is hurt. He's close to his corner, though. And he is able to make the tag. So Roughhouse Fargo once again comes in. And Roughhouse Fargo comes in and starts chasing the referee around the ring. And the kangaroos don't know what to do about this. Costello, though, sticks a fist out as Fargo runs past him and catches Fargo. Fargo is in some trouble here. And Al Costello backs him into the turnbuckle. And Roughhouse Fargo can't do much about it. As Al Costello into the turnbuckle again, so backing him back into the turnbuckle. As the referee broke him up last time. Let's see what happens this time. And this time Costello, with a big drag out of the corner, picks him up and just fireman's carries him out, slams him down. And now Costello in control. Chinese rack. This is a choice G maneuver. And let's see here. 7, it's power, so +2. So 9 or less. And he gets it, and that's going to be damaging to Roughhouse Fargo as Fargo's hurt by that Chinese rack. Al Costello makes the tag to Roy Heffernan, who comes in with a big catapult smash on Roughhouse Fargo. And that hurts Fargo as Costello is back in the ring here. And Costello into the ropes with Roughhouse Fargo. And Roughhouse Fargo pushed back into the ropes, and now he's pushed straight out of the ring. And this may be good for Roughhouse Fargo, as he likes it out there. But no, Roy Heffernan comes out, throws him back into the ring unceremoniously, just dumps him back in the ring. Al Costello still in control here, applies a sleeper hold to Roughhouse Fargo, and Roughhouse is hurt. And he continues to wrench that sleeper hold, really trying to put him out here. And he finally gets the ropes and pulls himself through. And once again, Roy Heffernan right there to force him right back into the ring. And Al Costello still in control. Greek Cross. And we're going to go with the level 3 move that's going to work on 8 or less. And on a roll of 9, Roughhouse Fargo avoids the Greek cross, scoops up Al Costello and slams him down with an atomic drop. And he's got the pin here. Target is going to be 3, so we're not going to use a pin save. Roll is a 10. And Roughhouse Fargo in control now. Fargo not going to throw him out of the ring. Going to roll up, hit him with a big body slam. Costello is hurt. Attempts the tag and makes it. Heffernan comes in. And Roy Heffernan on the attack here. Backing him into the turnbuckle. Fargo can't get much done. The referee steps in. Heffernan breaks clean, but is quick to grab a headlock right on the... right as soon as Fargo steps out of the corner. And Heffernan on the attack here. Another big catapult smash on Roughhouse Fargo. So tagging back into Al Costello. And, oop, that is offense. That is not what I wanted. He needs to roll on defense. And Roughhouse Fargo is hurt. And Al Costello sending him back into the turnbuckle. And Roughhouse Fargo can't get much done. Al Costello drop toe holds him out of the corner. And Costello blasts him with that boomerang. This is a +3 tag finisher. This should say tag. I need to edit that. So +3 tag finisher. So Heffernan and Costello with the big boomerang on Roughhouse Fargo. Target is 6, so Jackie Fargo going to try to pin save that one. And he is successful. And breaks it up as they go for the cover. But the Kangaroos are still in control. Roughhouse is in a lot of trouble here as they hit another big boomerang on Roughhouse Fargo. We're going to use that last pin save. See if Jackie Fargo can save him again. And he cannot. So this is going to be a +3. So that's going to be... what the hell is up with that? Yeah, he should be at 4. I don't know, because this should be 6-3 anyway, and he's got 1 fatigue. So the target is actually 7. I need to fix that too. And the roll is a 10, so he is successful in kicking out. They have no pin saves left, though. And he's going to the top for a death jump. Roy Heffernan on top here. Alright, no, this would be Al Costello, but it doesn't even matter. But yeah, Costello goes up for the death jump. And nails Roughhouse Fargo with a big clothesline off the top rope as Fargo gets back to his feet. Fargo in trouble here. Marble Boar leg lock by Al Costello. And that's going to catch him. Target is going to be 5, not 4. And the roll is a 6, so Roughhouse Fargo once again able to kick out. Or breakout. Kangaroo Leap. This is a tag move. So he makes the tag into Roy Heffernan. And Roughhouse Fargo in trouble. He's hurt. Jumping head cracker by Heffernan. And Fargo has the chance to tag out as he stumbles into his corner. And he's able to do so. So Jackie Fargo comes in. And Jackie Fargo grabs the side headlock on Roy Heffernan. Heffernan able to get out of that headlock with no trouble. That should be a level 2 move, not level 1. And another big catapult smash on Jackie Fargo. So Costello back in the ring. The Kangaroos making great tags. No signs of what Red Berry was talking about here. And that catches Fargo, and Fargo's down, but Fargo's near the ropes, so Fargo's going to roll out. Jackie Fargo trying to take a breather. And the Kangaroos let him take that breather, and Fargo rolls back in the ring, but the Kangaroos are waiting for him. Al Costello grabs him quickly and backs him into the ropes. And the referee quick to break these two up. Send him to the center of the ring, where Al Costello wins the lockup. And Costello with a jumping single, or with a rolling single leg, jumping single leg. Don't know how that would work. On Jackie Fargo, but Fargo able to counter it. Tries to throw a drop kick at Al Costello, but Costello quickly and easily moves out of the way. Fargo telegraphed that drop kick way too much. And he grabs a sleeper hold on Jackie Fargo. Fargo is down. He has a chance to try to tag. He does make the tag, before Costello pulls him away from the ropes, but it's too late. Roughhouse Fargo is in, and Roughhouse Fargo chases the referee around the ring again. Costello releases Jackie Fargo from the sleeper hold and trips Roughhouse Fargo as he runs around the ring. And Costello grabs Roughhouse Fargo by the hair and backs him into the ropes. It seems like the Kangaroos might be getting a little frustrated here. And Costello, couple of shots to the ribs as they lean against the ropes. The referee finally in to break him up, but Costello in control here. This should be level 2 offense. Backs him back into the ropes. And the referee definitely separates them this time. Makes sure that they're not punching each other in the ribs. And Costello wins the lockup in the center of the ring, applying a Greek cross on Roughhouse Fargo. Power rating, a level 3 move, so that's going to be 8 or less. And on a roll of 5, Fargo is put into the Greek cross, and he's hurt. As he continues to try to apply pressure on that Greek cross, and he's able to do so. And Fargo's hurt again. And he's still applying pressure on that Greek cross as he needs an 8 or less to keep the hold on. Can't do it, so Fargo wriggles his way out. And Fargo grabs him and starts choking Al Costello. Costello, not having that, elbows his way out of that choke with no problem. And rolling single leg takedown on Roughhouse Fargo. Roughhouse Fargo's dazed and can't make the tag to Jackie Fargo before Al Costello pulls him away. And Costello takedown to head scissors, trying to keep him controlled in the center of the ring. And he's dazed again. They're trying to make that tag, though, reaching out to Jackie Fargo. They just can't do it. And Costello applies the surfboard. He's dazed again. And he's putting pressure on that surfboard. And he's still hurt. And he's reaching out, just barely pulling his arm away from Al Costello, trying to make that tag. Costello grabs that arm back real quick and just wrenches that surfboard. And Costello lets go of it, but continues to be in control. Aussie suplex on Roughhouse Fargo. This match is just going and going. And he is dazed. Oh, once again, I'm hitting the wrong thing. And takedown to head scissors on Roughhouse Fargo. Fargo able to counter, though. And Fargo chases the referee around the ring. And Al Costello spends that time trying to make the tag. And can't get to it. And Roughhouse Fargo realizes it. Grabs the hair of Al Costello and pulls him to the mat, or tries to at least. But Costello able to spin away and take control. Backing Fargo into the ropes. And the referee comes in and breaks it up. And as they do so, Heffernan is tagged into the ring. The two meet in the center. And Roughhouse Fargo wins the lockup. And he backs Heffernan into the turnbuckle. And Heffernan can't get much done. Fargo rams multiple shoulders into the gut of Roy Heffernan in the turnbuckle. And Roughhouse Fargo watches him crash to the mat. And now we've got a pin attempt here. The target is going to be 2. The roll is an 8. So Roughhouse Fargo can't get the pin, but he is in control here. And Roughhouse Fargo grabs Heffernan, throws him out to the ring, or out to the floor, and rams Heffernan face first into the wooden ring stairs. And Heffernan in trouble here. Heffernan is down. He's going to try to make that tag as he rolls back into the ring. He can't do it. And Roughhouse Fargo slams him headfirst into the ring post. Fargo kind of trying to take this match to the outside, but Roy Heffernan keeps getting back in the ring. Heffernan is hurt. Into the turnbuckle goes Roy Heffernan. And opponent rolls on level 2 offense, so Heffernan can't get much done in the corner. And Roughhouse Fargo still in control. And Heffernan finally spins Fargo around and lifts a couple of knees to the gut. And Heffernan in control here, now trying to monkey flip him out of the corner. Power rating, so 9 or less. for a level 2 move. And he gets it no problem. And that monkey flip lands Roughhouse Fargo solidly on his backside. And Roughhouse is dazed. Heffernan grabs an arm wringer. Roughhouse Fargo counters the arm wringer. Roughhouse Fargo kicks Heffernan right in the backside. Heffernan, not having that, spins around quickly and hits a jumping head cracker on Roughhouse Fargo. Roughhouse Fargo is able to avoid that head cracker, and then he starts chasing the referee around the ring, which is probably not the smartest thing for him to be doing right now, as the Kangaroos use it as an opportunity to try to tag. Once again, Fargo realizes what's going on, stops chasing the referee, and starts dealing with Roy Heffernan here. Kicks him right in the backside again. That certainly got his attention. That one actually kind of must have caught him like right in the thigh area as he's kind of hopping around, but he's still trying to make that tag. He can't do it, as Roughhouse Fargo grabs him and starts choking him. Heffernan able to pry the arms off of him, and leaping chest attack on Roughhouse Fargo. Fargo's hurt. Heffernan makes the tag to Al Costello. Costello comes in and applies that sleeper hold, and that caught Roughhouse Fargo. The target is actually 6, if you remember right. Nope. The target is still 5. What the hell? So now it's correct. So Roughhouse Fargo is at 5. He's got 2 fatigue. Okay. I don't know what's going on with that. It's weird. Alright, so the target is actually 5. And the roll is a 3. So it wouldn't have mattered whether it was a 6 or a 5. And 1 hour into this match, the Kangaroos finally put Roughhouse Fargo to sleep with the sleeper hold. And the winner was, what was it? Al Costello over Roughhouse Fargo with a sleeper hold. And that's a weird one because that's the same hold that put Jackie Fargo out. But unlike Jackie Fargo, it took over an hour to put Roughhouse Fargo out. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 4. So I guess I'm going to call it a 1-star match. It wasn't as exciting as it could have been. So yeah, we'll go with 1 star. And here is our main event, our final match of the evening. This is for the European Heavyweight Championship. Dick Schickat is a former world champion, taking on Jim Londos, who is a long-reigning European Heavyweight Champion. So this should be an interesting one. In the red corner, weighing in at 220 pounds and standing 6 feet 1 inches tall, he hails from Germany, a former BBW and NWC World Heavyweight Champion. This is Dick Schickat. And his opponent in the blue corner, weighing in at 202 pounds and standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, from Katsupodi, Argos, Greece, the European Heavyweight Champion, Jim Londos. So Londos and Schickat meeting up in the center of the ring here. And Schickat wins the lockup. Schickat backs him into the ropes. And Londos able to roll up Dick Schickat as he tries to back him into the ropes, going to put him away quickly. Target is 2, roll is a 7, and Londos now solidly in control as he grabs a standing toe hold on Dick Schickat. Schickat's hurt, and an arm cross thrust. This is a choice C maneuver. Level 3 move works. Agility, it's both -1, so he's going to go for the level 3. That's going to work on 5 or less. And on a roll of 6, it doesn't work. And Dick Schickat grabs a headlock and takes Londos over. Londos in control here. And Schickat... Or not Londos. Schickat is in control. That last match threw me all off. So Londos is hurt as Schickat continues the attack. A leg split toe hold on Jim Londos by Dick Schickat. And Londos is hurt. Schickat continues his assault. Waits for Londos to stand up and then throws him to the mat with a flying mare, but Londos rolls through, gets back up very quickly, trips Shikhat down, and applies a reverse toe hold. And Shikhat kicks out of that toe hold and applies a reverse hammerlock. Londos spins out of that hammerlock and grabs him up with a crotch lift and slam. This is an add 1 maneuver, so we're going to add 1 and roll on level 3. He's hurt by that crotch lift and slam. Jim Londos in control here. Cross arm thrust. -1 both ways, so this is going to work on a 5 or less. And on a roll of 3, he gets it. And so cross arm thrust on Dick Shikhat. That catches him. Shikhat's hurt. And Londos grabs a reverse toe hold quickly. And Shikhat is hurt once again. Londos once again with that big crotch lift and slam. And that's going to put Shikhat down on the mat. And Shikhat struggles his way back to his feet as Londos moves in. Some rabbit punches as they lock up. And Shikhat able to block him. Shikhat takes control, backing him into the turnbuckle. And now Londos in trouble here as Shikhat catches him with a couple of rabbit punches of his own. And Shikhat sends Londos to the mat with those punches. And Londos not going to roll out of the ring. Londos is a fighting champion, going to stand in there and fight with Dick Shikhat. Shikhat not going to throw him out of the ring. Instead, going to do a headlock takeover on Jim Londos. Londos is hurt here. And Shikhat with a short forearm punch. He's actually won quite a few matches with this. And that catches Londos solidly. Londos is down. He's not going to roll out of the ring, even though he's right near the ropes. And now Dick Shikhat with the grounded arm lock. This has a star. If the opponent has a toe hold on their offensive card, roll 2 dice. On rolls of 10 through 12, the opponent rolls out of the grounded arm lock and applies a toe hold level 0 finisher to Dick Shikhat. Add 1 to opponent's pin and roll Shikhat's pin. So I believe he does have a toe hold. He's got a reverse toe hold and a standing toe hold. So he is going to get to roll 2 dice. And he rolls a 10. So he rolls out of the grounded armbar and applies a toe hold on Dick Shikhat. He does get a point of fatigue, but Shikhat rolling his pin here. And the target is going to be 5. The roll is an 11. So Shikhat with another point of fatigue. And Jim Londos on the attack. Londos with a big short arm scissors on Dick Shikhat. Shikhat's hurt. And Londos once again with that big crotch lift and slam. Slamming Shikhat back to the mat. And Shikhat is definitely in trouble here as he's being pinned by Jim Londos. The target is going to be 7. The roll is a 4. So Dick Shikhat is put away by Jim Londos, who retains his European heavyweight title. Londos beats Shikhat with a crotch lift and slam. That was a 7 fatigue match. So what is that? That's 7 divided by 2. That's 3.5 stars. I don't know why that took me so long. I'm not that bad at math, really, I swear. All right, so that is the end of our card here. Let's go check out our. Yeah, I don't care if I have unsaved changes to that because it's basically just the empty card at this point. Let's check our user title history here. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, Londos is up to 12 defenses now. I knew he had a bunch. He's a long-reigning guy. He won it in year 4. We're in year 8. So he's held it for almost 4 years now. And yeah, 12 defenses. Shikhat, the most recent one. The only other champion we had was Paul Pons, who won it before the event, or before the NWC was formed, and basically held it until Londos beat him. Most of his defenses, though, are unrecorded. So he only has 3 defenses that are recognized in the NWC. So, and let's see here. What was the other one? that I was wondering about. I can't remember. We'll go and check out the rankings real quick. Oh, and then I can show the Discord and the ChatGPT stuff, because this event won't have that information already. So Thez is our world champion. There's Londos, 22-7. Dick Schick had 8-9, so that actually put him beneath 500, or yeah, beneath 500 there. Farmer Burns is retired, so we can go ahead and exclude that. But yeah, so there we go. That's sort of the way it looks right now. Ed Lewis, still the #1 contender, really, to Lou Thesz's title. Lewis is a multiple-time champion. And they are friends, so I don't know whether they will match up. Stecker is the next guy down, and then Alexander Aberg. I think Aberg hasn't had a title defense or a title shot in a while. Let me look. I'll do that real quick. World Heavyweight title. Alexander Aberg had one year 2, year 4. Yeah, he hasn't had one in 4 years, so maybe he'll get a title shot against Lou Thez. Okay, so here is the Discord thing. If you are in the FG assisted Discord, you'll see this instantaneously. So we're going to go down to this card 8-2. You'll see it has none of the ChatGPT stuff. We are going to export I'm going to check and make sure I'm on NWC. I am. And we're going to export that to the Discord. And now if you look at the Discord channel, in the results forum in the NWC thread, you'll see that the results for card 8.2 are now posted. And then let me show you the ChatGPT stuff. We're going to take this one. We only need to do the GPT export event. So we're going to hit this. It's going to do its working thing. This will take a little bit. As I said, ChatGPT is not the fastest thing in the world. And then, yeah. So it's working. No errors or anything. It's just taking a little bit. And I mean, it could take a while depending on how many matches, how busy ChatGPT is, all that kind of stuff. But if it has an error, it'll show up in these are not those errors. The RI.HID file, it's because I have a controller plugged in and my cable is sort of going bad. So it will kind of unplug and replug every once in a while, and then Unity freaks out about it. But it's doing its thing. And once again, if you are not a Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/FG Assistant, and it will have all of the information for you, and it will get everything done. And you can become a Patreon and download the application, and you can use it yourself. And it is still going. Good Lord. I don't ever remember it taking this long, but it isn't erroring out, so I really don't know what's taking so long. There we go. Exported successfully. And then if I click on it again, it will have nice ChatGPT write-ups. Look at it. In a marathon matchup lasting over an hour, Al Costello secured a victory for the fabulous Kangaroos by defeating Roughhouse Fargo with a decisive sleeper hold. Despite the endurance displayed by both teams, the match failed to captivate the audience, earning a lackluster rating of 1 star. The slow-paced nature of the bout may have tested the patience of the spectators, with the prolonged duration overshadowing any potential excitement or momentum shifts that could have elevated the overall entertainment value of the contest. Thank you, ChatGPT. And then here is the, so it knows about titles and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, so that's how that works. And that's going to do it for us for today. Thank you guys for joining in. I hope that the Q&A portion was at least insightful and that people learned stuff. And the event was sort of entertaining. That Kangaroos Fargo's match was a little long. Roughhouse did a couple of silly things with the soda and the chasing the referee, although he may have gone to that well a little too often. But yeah, so that's kind of what we got going on. I will be back next month with another Q&A. And another, I'll probably be back before then with another NWC event. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and